Angrod was the second son of Finarfin and Irwin, brother to Finrod and Aegnor, and Galadriel was their sister. His wife was Eldelote, and they had a son named Orodreth. In year 1495 of the Years of the Trees, Morgoth killed Finwë and stole Fëanor's 3 Silmarils, sparking the Noldor's rebellion. During the exile, Angrod and Aegnor decided to follow their close friend Fingon, who was determined to pursue Morgoth. However, when their father Finarfin advised caution, they did not oppose him. Ultimately, Fingolfin, Finarfin, and their children led their people in following Fëanor's host to Middle-earth. At Alqualand, Fëanor attempted to seize the Tellerie's ships, but the Tellerie resisted, leading to the first kinslaying. Later on their journey, it was said that the figure of Mandos appeared before the Noldor host, pronouncing the doom of the Noldor, or the prophecy of the North. At this moment, Finarfin chose to turn back, but his children continued on with Fingolfin. Although Angrod did not directly participate in the kinslaying, they were still subject to Mando's curse, as the ships were insufficient to carry all of them to Middle-earth. Fëanor decided to abandon those he deemed less loyal. As a result, Fingolfin's people, including Finarfin's children, were left behind. To reach Middle-earth, they were forced to march northward and cross the icy wastes of Helcarax on foot. It was during the rising of the moon for the first time that they finally set foot in Middle-earth. At first, the Noldor who entered Beleriand temporarily settled in Mithrim. Angrod, as the messenger of his brother Finrod, was the first to visit Menegroth and hold talks with Thingol, the king of Doriath. To avoid causing conflict, Angrod concealed the true reasons behind the Noldor's exile, only recounting the deeds they had achieved while fighting Morgoth in the north. Thus, Thingol allowed the Noldor to settle in Hithlum, Dorthonion, and East Beleriand. After returning to Mithrim, Angrod conveyed Thingol's message. The Noldor showed little enthusiasm for Thingol's welcome, and the sons of Fëanor were especially enraged, mocking Thingol's permission. Caranther went as far as to insult Angrod, causing him to leave in anger. After the meeting, the various groups of the Noldor began moving to different regions of Beleriand. Angrod and Aegnor guarded Dorthonion, serving as vassals to Finrod, the king of Nargothrond. They kept watch over the plains of Ardgalen, which lay before Morgoth's fortress of Angband. The highlands of Dorthonion were so desolate that few elves joined them in defending the area, but between the years FA 330 and 380, part of the House of Beer settled in Dorthonion. Because Finarfin's wife Irwin was a relative of Thingol, Finarfin's family was allowed to visit Menegroth. However, the truth that Angrod had concealed was eventually discovered by Thingol. When questioned, Angrod, recalling Caranther's scorn, decided to reveal all the misdeeds of Fëanor's house. Thingol, mindful of his kinship with them, did not sever relations with Finarfin's children. But from that point onward, he became hostile toward the sons of Fëanor and decreed that the Quenya language was not to be spoken anywhere in Doriath. In the year 455 of the First Age, Morgoth broke the Noldor's siege of Angband in the sudden assault known as the Dager Bragalak, the Battle of Sudden Flame. Rivers of fire poured forth from Thangorodrim, and the northern slopes of Ardgalen and Dorthonion were engulfed in flames. Angrod and Aegnor, who were the first to face the onslaught, both perished in the battle. Aegnor was the son of Finarfin and Irwin, the brother of Finrod and Angrod, and the elder brother of Galadriel. In the Year of the Trees 1495, Morgoth murdered Finwë and stole the 3 Silmarils of Fëanor, igniting the Noldor's rebellion. Angrod and Aegnor decided to follow their close friend Fingon, vowing to pursue Morgoth, while their father Finarfin urged caution. Nonetheless, Angrod and Aegnor did not argue with their father. and in the end they, along with Fingolfin, Finarfin, and their children, led their people on the journey to Middle-earth, following Feanor's host. At Alqualand, Fëanor attempted to seize the ships of the Teleri by force, resulting in the first kinslaying. During the journey, the figure of Mandos appeared before the Noldor, foretelling the doom of the Noldor. At that point, Finarfin chose to remain in Valinor, but his children, including Angrod and Aegnor, decided to continue on with Fingolfin. Although Angrod did not directly participate in the kinslaying, they were still affected by the doom of Mandos. When there were not enough ships to carry everyone, Fëanor abandoned those he deemed unfaithful. The house of Fingolfin and Finarfin's children were left behind. To reach Middle-earth, they chose to travel north and cross the bitterly cold Helcarax ice fields on foot. As the moon rose for the first time, they finally set foot on the land of Middle-earth, embarking on a new journey of destiny. Angrod and Aegnor held the fortress of Dorthonion as vassals to their elder brother, Finrod, the king of Nargothrond. They kept watch over the plain of Ardgalen, which lay before Morgoth's stronghold, Angband. The highlands of Dorthonion were so desolate that few elves dwelled there alongside them. However, between the years FA 330 and 380, part of the House of Beer came to settle in Dorthonion. During the siege of Angband, Fingolfin, the High King of the Noldor, once planned to launch a preemptive strike against Morgoth. As their stronghold was on the front lines, Aegnor and Angrod were willing to follow Fingolfin. However, the other Noldorin kin did not agree with this plan and sent no troops to support it. Aegnor encountered Andrith of the House of Beer and fell in love with her. However, at that time there had been no precedent of marriage between elves and men, for elves are immortal, while the fate of men is finite. Aegnor realized that his time with Andress would be very short. As she aged and withered, he would still retain his youthful form. Furthermore, according to the laws and customs of Eldar, elves do not marry or have children during times of war. Aegnor feared that if the two of them were to unite, he might abandon his duty to guard Morthond. In the end, Aegnor bid farewell to Andress by the shores of Lake Tarn Aeluin. However, he also resolved never to marry any elven woman again. At first, Andress thought that she had been rejected by Aegnor. She believed that Aegnor looked down on her human form. Although she was quite wise herself, her words were often sharp when it came to mentioning the Eldar or even the Vala. Aegnor's brother Finrod had once had a famous debate with her. The equally wise Finrod was not offended by Andress's words, as he understood the connection between her and his brother. In fact, by the end of their conversation, he successfully made Andress realize that Aegnor did not look down on her or reject her because of her humanity. He chose to part with her out of wisdom, and Aegnor was also a victim in this tragedy. In the year 455 of the First Age, Morgoth broke the siege of Angband by the Noldor in the Battle of Sudden Flame. The rivers of fire poured forth from Mount Doom, and flames surged skyward on the northern slopes of Adegalon and Dorthonion. Angrod and Aegnor, who were at the forefront, both fell in battle. The souls of the slain elves can go to Mandos halls to await judgment. After a time, they are able to return to the bodies of the living. But Finrod once told Andress that because of Aegnor's deep love for her, he would remain in Mandos halls until the end of Arda.